long time no see. Some of you may know that I started this channel, probably a year ago today, and I was super consistent for about 3 months and then just dropped off the face of the planet. I was still posting regularly over on BookTok, still posting regularly over on Instagram, but yeah, I really struggled to get into a routine with BookTube, and it is a new year. Happy 2025, everyone. I hope you had the best Christmas and the best New Year, or the best holiday, whatever you celebrate. But I thought I would come back with a bang and really challenge myself this year to post on here, to be consistent. I really enjoyed the long form videos. The thing that kind of screwed it for me was the editing. Trying to squeeze that into like my day-to-day life was just super hard. So my plan this year is to do kind of less editing. You're gonna get more ums and ahs in these videos because I want to keep it as minimal as possible, because this is supposed to be fun, you know? But I'm back with a bang. I have a list of all of the books that are releasing in January 2025 that I'm super excited for, and I'm going to go through them with you and explain why I think you should be excited for them as well. So one of the books that I'm actually really excited for will have actually already come out by the time I post this video. So today is the 3rd of January. This book came out yesterday, and that is A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This has been described as kind of Bletchley Park meets dragons in this dark academia world, and it has been touted to be great for fans of Babel or Fourth Wing or the Scholomance trilogy, and I have heard nothing but great things from people I know, love and trust over on the internet who have received advance copies of this book. It is set in London in 1923. There are protests going on the streets and dragons are roaring through the skies. And we have Vivian, who is not worried about anything going on in the world. She just wants to kind of follow the rules, get on with it, get this internship in dragon languages, and make sure that her baby sister doesn't have to grow up 3rd class. However, by midnight, Viv has started a civil war. Her parents have been arrested, her baby sister has gone missing, and everything that she has worked so hard for is just collapsing around her. So when she gets offered this mysterious job by an anonymous source, she takes it. She rocks up to Bletchley Park to officially accept this job, and when she gets there, she finds out that she's been recruited as a code breaker for the war. If she succeeds in what she's being asked to do, her family can all go free, and if she doesn't, they're all going to be unalived. When Viv first kind of starts on this journey, she thinks that it's doable. She thinks she can break these codes, she can figure out this language. But the more she learns as she goes on, and the more she figures out, the more she realizes that she's just been living in this complete bubble, and that she isn't, and the world isn't as safe as she thought it was. And that kind of brings her to this ultimate decision that she has to make as to whether the war she's fighting is worth it, and whether she actually knows what she's fighting for. This is supposed to be full of slow burn romance and dragons and epic fantasy and twists, turns, betrayals, secret identities, all of the things that I adore in any kind of fantasy novel. So if for whatever reason you have not got this one on your list, I definitely recommend. Next up on the 7th, we have Four Ruined Realms by May Cortland. This is the sequel to Five Broken Blades, and I am so ashamed to say that even though this was so high on my TBR last year, I didn't get to it. I'm hopefully reading that book right now as you're watching this, if my TBR goes to plan. But I purposely have not read the blurb to this book because I want to keep my Five Broken Blades book as spoiler-free as possible. What I can say is every single person I know that has read Five Broken Blades has said how incredible it is. So hopefully, whilst you're watching this, I'm enjoying that just as much, because I have pre-ordered 4 Ruined Realms for this month. Because are you even a real book dragon if you don't pre-order the sequel before reading the first book? Next up on the 16th, we have Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I tried so hard to get a proof of this book and was rejected by the publisher. The thing that really caught me with this book is that it is a Southern Gothic horror with a travelling library, and all of those words just really appeal to me, especially the travelling library, because if there is books, bookshelves, libraries in a book, it instantly goes on my TBR. This one is set in Florida in the 70s. And it follows 15-year-old Neva, who is taken to this house that is for unmarried mothers. She is dropped off there by her father, who leaves her without saying a word, and she still has 3 months left in her pregnancy. She meets 3 other unwed mothers when she's there. We have Rose, who is this righteous hippie, Holly, who is a 14-year-old girl who refuses to talk, and Zinnia, who's described as a cultured skeptic. This house is miles away from the nearest town, and they are forced to live by these kind of draconian rules. The girls are completely powerless and kept in the dark about what's going to happen when they have their babies. Their only option is to kind of surrender their babies, hand them over, and move on like it never happened. But then one day this travelling library comes to the house, and the librarian hands Neva this book. This book seems to promise answers, power, and maybe even revenge. It is a book of witchcraft. But in order to work, the book demands that sacrifices must be made. And if she's making deals with the devil, Neva has to make that decision of what price is she actually willing to pay. It sounds very creepy. It sounds fascinating. It's the kind of thing I would actually usually watch rather than read, but I have been finding myself getting far more into horror recently, so I'm really excited for this one. Next up, from Samantha Soto Yambao, we have Watermoon. This is also coming out on the 16th. And I first heard about this when I went to Yalk in November last year. They had a whole stand, and the cover just intrigued me so much. So as soon as I got home, I obviously pre-ordered it because I have zero self-control. This has been described as a lyrical slice of Japanese fantasy, which is perfect for fans of the Dalagut Dream Store. Now, I read the Dalagut Dream Store last year and loved it so much. It was so cozy and sweet and just perfect. So that made me really excited for Watermoon. Somewhere on the back streets of Tokyo is this pawn shop, but not everyone will be able to find it. Most people that walk past it will only see a cozy ramen store. But a very select few people, the chosen ones, will see this pawn store where you can go in and pawn off your deepest regrets and poor life choices. We follow Hannah, who wakes up on her first morning of being the pawn shop's new manager, to find the place completely ransacked and the shop's most kind of precious acquisition has been stolen, and her father has also gone missing. And then in walks this charming stranger who, instead of coming in and asking for help, offers his. Together they've got a journey through this mystical world in order to be able to kind of find the stolen goods and Hannah's father. The closer they kind of get to the truth, the more obvious it becomes that Hannah's going to have to reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice that she will never be able to take back. Tell me that doesn't sound cozy as heck, but also super interesting. I love kind of this lyrical, strange Japanese concept in books where they take something and just make it so magical, and it feels so simple, and it's got this really cute underlying message. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. I'm sure I don't have to tell most of you about the next one, but on the 21st is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yaros. Now, I really enjoyed Fourth Wing. Iron Flame was one of those, I enjoyed it so much more the second time I read it. So I read it, it was okay, and then I reread it and I enjoyed it so much more. But I actually think that Iron Flame was better than Fourth Wing, which I know a lot of people disagree with. I think that's just going to come down to tastes when it comes to pacing and all of that stuff. But the cliffhanger that Iron Flame leaves you on has me chomping at the bit for Onyx Storm. I am so curious as to where it's going to go, and yeah, cannot wait to have this one in my hands. Next up is one that I've seen absolutely everywhere. This one comes out on the 23rd, and it is Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark. It is an epic YA enemies to lovers romantasy. I love a YA romantasy because I am so much more invested in the tension than I am in the spice. And I know a few people read this in December, and the amount of raving I saw about this online was insane. I tried so hard to get my hands on an advanced copy for this, and again, failed miserably. But I know that this is something I'm going to absolutely love and adore. The story kind of follows this really devastating, brutal war that's been going on for over a century between demons and humans. And then at its very heart are two soldiers. We have Celine, who is this powerful exorcist and trained at the prestigious Vatican Academy. And then we also have this foot soldier, Jules Lacroix is how I think you say it. And he is like next level elite fighting soldier, completely unrivaled in battle. It starts off, their paths cross, and there is obviously some initial distrust with each other, and then unwelcome attraction, as all of the best YA books start. But then Jules and Celine discover a terrible secret. Pretty soon after, Jules is like facing having to like change the way he's viewed everything, including himself. And you have Celine, who cannot ignore her growing feelings for Jules and has to make this decision, this kind of impossible choice between love and duty. Now, the thing that gets me with this one is I just really like a YA romantasy sometimes. I think they are so easy to read. They usually have me kicking and squealing like a little girl. And I just live for banter and tension between characters like that. So I have a feeling that this is going to be one of my top YA romantasies of the year, because most of the other romantasies that are coming out are all adult. And I just think YA sometimes has something to offer that you don't usually get enough of in those older novels. Those are definitely the ones I am most excited for in January. I know that there are loads of other books coming out. Please make sure you drop a comment and let me know what it is that you're looking forward to in January. But I genuinely think that 2025 is shaping up to be such a crazy year for new releases. I think there are a lot of great books coming out this year, and I'm so excited to get them and read them whenever that may be. I cannot wait. I'll be back next week talking about my top books of 2024. And after showing my love and appreciation for the books that made it into my top 10, I'll then be following up with some 1-star reviews of the same books. Have a great week, everybody. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe where you can. I am going to try really, really hard to be consistent this year, and let's see if we can go a whole year with posting.